Hey guys, welcome to J. Hauser Writes. We're going to cover a lot of ground today, so I'm going to try to put time stamps down below. We've got a lot of cause for celebration. First of all, this book is now on pre-order. So you'll see I just did a cover reveal, the book trailer, SOREN'S Legacy. So this is book 2 of 2 in the Heirs duology, which is technically book 4 and 5 in the Cedar Wars series. So this and The Heir of Exile can be read as standalone duology, though I do think they have a greater impact if you have read the trilogy first. So I'll just say that I won't go into this too much, and the book trailer is spoiler free, so if you do want to watch it and you haven't caught up this far, you can certainly go check it out. But I'm excited for it. It is kind of weird marketing a book where you don't have a huge fan base and you don't have a ton of people just waiting on bated breath for it. But I'm still really excited for the people that are ready for this to get to see that journey. It's also sad to know that we will never see this main character again. It's so surreal because a lot of the main characters from books 1 through 3 we will see again. Even the ones that did not survive because of how things are going to go in the series. I'll mention that in a minute, but I don't know, it's very hard. Also, I will say this one, it will make you cry. If you haven't cried with the others already, you will cry on this one. I had family genuinely worried about my well-being as I wrote it. I cried so much. Every single beta reader and my editor have all cried multiple times while going through this. So it's definitely more of a character journey than some of the other things in the series, but it will make sense if you've read book 4 why it would be that way. So anyway, that's what I'll say about it. I'll have the links down below if you want to pre-order. For some reason, the printer is not discussing things properly with some of the bookstores that it will be sold through. The paperback's not currently on Amazon for some reason yet, but it's available on Barnes & Noble for pre-order, on the Book Depository, other places. Just for some reason the paperback is struggling. So if paperback is your preferred method and like Amazon, then you might have to wait a little bit longer. But this will come out on September 16th, which is a special day. We're going to talk about that too. But first, let's go into the rest of the series. I mentioned this a little bit, the reading order. I am anticipating this being a 9-book series. So this is book 5, so we're over halfway there. Now, the next 3 books I think are maybe a little atypical, so I hope I don't lose people along the way, but especially if you like seeing things from a different point of view, the next 2 books will be a duology, and they will be from a male perspective, from someone we know and love from the trilogy. And they had an interesting life. And so it will recover some ground, but give us a lot more insight into things that we didn't know before. The next book, book 8, will actually be even further in the past. So we are playing a little bit with timeline, and then book 9 will be kind of the culmination of everything. So I'm hoping to get these out 2023, 2024 at the latest, but I just know that the next one I'm really intimidated because there's a lot of timelines I have to straighten out, and it's probably going to be the massive one of the series. It's just heads up. So I don't have a release date on that yet. As for other books releasing, I do have one more book that is not a novel. It's going to be something different coming out soon. I'm going to have that announcement out strategically sometime soon. As for any other releases, I don't know that I'm going to this year. I had really hoped for a fantasy standalone for this Christmas, but I realized that I was just getting so burnt out. And that one, again, because I want it to have accuracies for things that are very central to the story, I decided to put it on the back burner, and hopefully next Christmas we'll get it. But I may get around to writing another fairy tale retelling like the Hitani Bride. I actually have one, a Princess and the Pea retelling, that is with my editor. But since I'm submitting that to an anthology with other authors, that probably won't come out until next spring or summer. Which is sad because I got a bunch of new beta readers that absolutely loved it. And that's one thing I will say. The audience for my Cedar Wars isn't always going to be the same audience for my fairy tale retellings. That's what I've discovered with beta readers so far. Some people love all of them, but some people don't love everything in both styles of writing. But I have decided to make a series of these standalone fairy tale retellings. I think the next one that I'm going to do is an Armenian one. I've been searching through some things. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. I knew it, but those ancient Egyptian ones, they'll get you. So anyway, I don't have any scheduled release dates except for my secret project that I will inform you about soon. And again, Soren's Legacy releases on September 16th. That was a strategic date because I wanted to be able to add it to my list of how many books did I publish in my first year as an author. This makes book number 8. That is just crazy. I'm definitely not going to be able to keep that up, especially full-size novels. But you know, I'm doing my best. I'm having fun. My audience is still growing slow. We'll talk a little bit about that. But it'll be 8. And I published Cedar Shadow Wars on September 17th of 2021. So this will be on the 16th to squeeze it in there. And it's exciting. So there's going to be some celebrations for my 1-year publishing anniversary. I've already planned some freebies, probably do some giveaways because I like that kind of stuff, and more announcements about things. So definitely make sure to check your newsletter. If you're not getting my newsletters, I don't send them out very often, but if you don't get them at all, make sure to check your spam folder. Make sure to add my email address to your address folder. As for more celebrations concretely, if you're on TikTok, I've already scheduled to do a live chat with another author. So we're going to talk about both of our books. And I want to do a question and answer video. So if you have any questions about my books, about writing in general, about publishing industry, that kind of stuff, feel free to comment down below. Or I also have linked down below a spot where you can, anonymously submit any questions, and I will do my best to answer them. I think it'll be a fun little 1-year celebration thing. Speaking of forms to fill out, there's 2 other things I want to bring up. One is, I mentioned I don't have a big audience. I've been doing this for a year, and while I've been diving into mostly writing and editing and that kind of stuff, I'll admit that I do not know how to market or advertise, and I think my series is very hard to market and advertise because it's not your typical fantasy. That's literally the #1 comment I get on my reviews is, I've never read a book like this before, which is great, except for it's hard to be like, oh, it's like this. If you love this, then you'll love it. So I just have a couple questions. If you've read even just book 1, I would absolutely love for you to take a couple minutes to fill that out to maybe help me kind of sift through how I can better present my books to find people that would enjoy it. And then if you are a writer or an author, and if you would like a manuscript critique, I've actually decided that I'm going to do some of those on this channel. I know I'm not terribly consistent on here. We're just going to blame it on the ADHD and the crazy publishing schedule. But I've already got a couple people who have signed up to have me do a partial manuscript critique. So that will be linked down below. I'm not an expert, but I have learned a ton from beta readers and from my editor and from other authors along the way. So someone recently sent me, a few scenes from their book, and I had fun. Now I'm going to tear it apart in a nice way. I'm going to point out the problems, but also try to point out the good things and not do it in a way that's demeaning. I just think it's fun to share knowledge, and I'll be putting those up here. And I think the last thing is just merch. So I have been sorting out what the heck I'm doing with that. Again, I don't have a huge following. It's not like people are knocking down my door to buy stickers about my books, but if you're interested, I have updated my Etsy shop. Again, everything, there's gonna be a whole book down in the description. I have sticker and bookmark packs that have probably even expanded since you've seen it last. I just literally added on some new bookmarks where I literally take extra pages from proof copies, print on them, cut them, laminate them, and so it's fun. You actually get a book page that also has art that's related to that book. Anyway, I have fun with the crafty side of me. That's why I have a whole separate crafting channel. If you haven't checked that out, you definitely should. And I have print overlay character art that I also do on extra pages. Now, one thing that I mentioned in, I think, my last newsletter was extra merch like t-shirts. Like this is one of them, but that's actually not, I discontinued that real quick. I researched different companies that do print on demand so I could have a good reach for worldwide distribution. Anyone could buy them if they wanted to. I went with a company. I spent nearly $200 getting a few samples to me, and I hated them all. And they have horrible customer service, so I'm not getting that money back, and I'm not subjecting anyone else to that. There were inconsistencies in the sizing and the fit and just the quality. It was bad. So I took that down before anyone actually ordered, other than myself. But if you do want things that are thinner that will ship internationally, like bookmarks and art and signed nameplates, then be my guest. I do also have a listing on there for discounted books. So when I get them from the printer, sometimes they'll have like extra scuffs, that kind of thing, and they don't meet my high quality standards. So I do have several that I just want to get rid of. They're taking up space. Someone could enjoy them. They're completely readable. I'm just extremely particular. So anyway, check them out. I'm sorry this is forever long and I'm not very articulate because I'm filming it at like 5 in the morning and I haven't gone to bed yet. But I'm excited for people to get to read Soren's legacy, to find out where this goes. It went a lot deeper than I even realized before I started writing it. So that's kind of the fun thing about discovering things as you go. And I'm so excited. Lastly, I want to say a huge thank you to anyone out there that shares about my books, that requests them from your library. That makes a huge difference. A social media share with a link to, my website where they can check out the books for themselves, list that title. It's huge. It really is. Because those are people that I don't know how to reach with my lack of marketing and advertising knowledge. And if you enjoyed it, that word of mouth is huge. So I really appreciate that, and requesting it at libraries, because that gets it into the hands of other people. So I appreciate your support. Put all those questions down below for the 1 year September 17th video, and check out all the links that I have down below. See what you want to see, and I'm just gonna go. I'm a hot mess. It's my brand. It's who I am. Okay, bye guys.